Attorney and legal analyst Rachel Fizet is with us to talk more about the case and what we can expect in the months ahead. Rachel, thank you for joining us on this holiday. I appreciate it. For those in Highland Park, justice is so much a focus of this investigation and moving forward in the healing process. And that starts with some of these court dates that are coming up. Prosecutors say that Crimo confessed to the shooting after his arrest. Now he is pleading not guilty. Could that be used against him in trial in these court proceedings?
His attorneys will try to keep that statement out, said that it was done in a way that it shouldn't come in, but it will definitely be used against him by the prosecutors. They should be able to get it in as he said it to them, that he opened fired. And the statement and all of the evidence that they continue to gather, which apparently there is quite a bit, which is what has delayed the trial from going forward thus far, they will continue to show that he was the shooter.
And how does it complicate a case when you have this many victims? I mean, so as I said, 117 charges, 21 of those counts on first-degree murder. You have so many people that were impacted. Does that delay the case? Does it add an additional challenge for the prosecution?
In some ways, it's more challenging for the prosecution because there's simply more evidence. And in Illinois, for each one of those murders, there are 3 charges of first-degree murder on 3 separate theories, which is why you have 21 counts and only 7 murders. And then there are 80 other counts of all of the different shooting and violence, because in Illinois, they stack the separate counts for each one of the acts. So to get through an indictment with that many charges, it is certainly takes longer. But what prosecutors have done is absolutely charged him with everything they can to ensure that justice is served if he is the shooter.
I always think of mental competency in these cases because many of us can't even wrap our minds around someone who could carry out this type of act. How will that play in this case?
We're not sure exactly what his defense will be, if he will claim he was not competent. There is obviously the other evidence that he had some high degree of mental illness going forward, but that could only mitigate the crimes. I think they're not going to claim insanity, or they haven't yet, which would be the only defense that would get him off entirely. But perhaps they will show the jury that he wasn't mentally competent at that time, or he was depressed. But they haven't shown signs that they're going forward, I think, with the insanity defense.
And how important are these images that we're showing, right? They have images around the scene of the shooting, in addition to any witness accounts of people seeing him get on the roof before the shooting.
So that's what's taking so long. They're getting through all of that evidence to make sure they have absolutely everything. Clearly, those pictures are key evidence. The witness accounts are key evidence, and his confession is key. So it looks from our perspective that they have the right person, but the prosecutors are going to take no chances here.
And then the other element is the dad. So his father is charged with 7 felony counts of reckless conduct. What will prosecutors have to prove in order to get a conviction on those charges?
In this type of charge, where the dad was not the shooter, but he signed basically the form to allow his son to acquire that gun when he was 19, the prosecutors are going to be looking at what his father knew. Did he know it was dangerous to allow this young man to buy a gun, and to what degree he may have had that knowledge? There are all of these statements that his son tried to kill himself with a machete, and that he had threatened the entire family. And with that knowledge, was it okay for his father to go sign a form allowing his son to have this weapon? And that's really what the prosecutors are going to look at. They're going to look at text messages and emails and communications with other family members that relate to the fear or knowledge of whether it would rise to a level of criminal recklessness to sign a form so that his son could have a gun.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.